Okay, in the next section, we will learn deeply regarding these type of constraint. You can see here not null, unique, primary key, foreign key, check, default, and the create index. So here I will take the reference of this site. You can see here, this is the site I am referring to share the thoughts. Okay, so here you can see the item not null. So first we need to start from the not null. So what I mentioned before, the not null means that value definitely it contain a value. Okay. By default, a column can hold null value, normally null value. But not null constraint enforce the column to accept null value, not accept the null values. That means we need to specify that data definitely a data will contain that column. Okay, enforcing. For example, you can see here create table person. We are creating the or classroom. We are creating one table and the ID of int and not null. So you can mention here not null. That definitely contain any data. Otherwise, if the one row contains not null value, it will what happens? It will fail. Okay. The last name, the varchar not null, and first name also not null. That also mandatory field. And the age int, you can see the difference here. The age is int. So you can insert the age as an int value and there is no issues. So I will try here. You can see here, run the query. What happened? You made the changes of the database. So I created one table. Uh, so I created one table for this one. Okay. So no worries. And a not null and alter table. For example, if you modify, you already modify age int. So if you have not null value, need to already created the schema, but after that you got a requirement. You definitely the age also a restricted, definitely contain a value. So what will have? We can do the alter. That means or predefined schema we can alter. So that is here SQL not null on alter table. So alter table person modify age into not null. So that is the one. Okay. Then unique. You can see unique. From that word itself, you can say that unique means that column contains unique values, no duplicate. So specifically, at a real-time example, definitely client will specify you need a not null value or unique value. Don't allow the duplicate. So that time when we define the schema, we can implement unique. Okay, that column is unique, then there is no duplicate issue. If any duplicate come, it will avoid those row. So that we can, but if you want to alert, you can implement it like there is a unique, there is a repeated column in the column number or row ID, this one. So that is the importance of unique. Understand the concept unique. Both unique and primary key constraint provide the guaranteed uniqueness of the set of columns. So the primary constraint automatically as a unique constraint. Okay. Primary key means we can discuss later. So understand the difference between unique and primary key. Unique means it contains a unique value. That means it may contain the null, only one null. But in the primary key does not allow null values and also the unique value. That is the main difference between the unique and primary key. Understand? So here you can see that create table, SQL Server, create table ID int not null unique. Not null unique. That means not null unique. We can already define the primary key, ID as primary key. So then the problem will solve. And the varchar not null and varchar this much of big int. Okay, big int also we can use. And age, big int, age. Age is a integer. So that is the one thing we can. And alter table also we can add. You can see here for the MySQL alter table person add constraint use a person unique. Okay, unique ID. So we can implement unique. SQL Server. So alter table person add unique ID. You can unique add the one and drop. You can also drop alter table the person drop index unique person. So or drop constraint US person. So anything we can do there. And also next one is the primary key. So primary key means already we have unique and null value. That is the combination of primary key. So definitely you must remember about what is the primary key and the foreign key. So primary key is the combination of unique key. Okay, unique key plus null value, not null. So the primary key contains uniqueness to identify each of the record in a table. Primary keys must contain the unique value and cannot contain the null values. So that is a very important. So this point is very important. The table has only one primary key and the table is primary key consists of a multiple column. So normally we set here like uh, ID int not null primary key. You can set like that. Okay, last name also not null and primary key. And alter the column. For the SQL Server, alter table person add the primary key. What is the ID? We need to ID the primary key. So you can mention like this. And drop also there like this. Okay. So this is the primary key. Then what is foreign key? What is foreign key? Foreign key means we have a connection like a bridge. What is bridge? Bridge means connecting two areas. So here the foreign key also is built like a connecting two tables. This is the first table, for example. This is the parent table. This is a child table. So the relationship is the foreign key. Okay, like a gene is a foreign key. You can think like that. Gene is the foreign key. So SQL key constraint means the foreign key constraint prevent the action to distort the link between the tables. You have a relation. So that relation is the foreign key because you have the connection with this table. So once you delete the table, once the delete the parent table, first you need to delete the child table, then only we can move into the parent table. So that is the main importance of the foreign key. For example, you have two tables, person table. So and also this is very important in the interview preparation also because when they ask like these, you definitely know the different item, how the foreign key handle, how the primary key handle, how the relationship build, and how a specific element we need to pick. For example, I will tell you the real world interview question. There is a manager table and there is an employee table. The 1,000 employees are working in one company and there is a 10 manager for this 1,000 employees. That means each manager has 100 employees. Okay, so 100 into 10, 1,000 employees mapping to each manager. So definitely you need to pick and that contain and performance 90% also. There is a question, there will be a question, the which manager is a good leader. So how you find this kind of answer? Which manager is a good leader? So that time we have a clear idea about the foreign key. Then only you can solve the problem because there is you need first you need to select the item. What are the performance? The employees who is performing 90 percentage or their performance. List out the employees. Then find out the managers. Those employees mapping to the manager and the count the lot of number because count the number of employees more if a good leader has more number of performance. So then find out. So that time definitely you need a clear idea about the foreign key concept. So it is very important. Yes. For example, here you can see the person table, person ID, last name, first name, age. This is the order table, order ID, order number, and the person ID. So here the person ID column order table pointing to the person ID column. This is the so how we can identify each order, who will place this order. So we have a direct connection to this one. If we get the person ID, if you get the person ID, you search here. So look at here. So this is the name. So Peterson. Peterson is the order placed in the first time. And next time also he is placed in the next order. So here the person ID is the primary key. The person ID is the primary key of the person table, but the person ID is the column, is the foreign key of the order table. So that is the important. Okay, you can remember this one. This will be helpful. So person ID is the primary key of the person table, and the order table, it will be the foreign key. That means a connection, the connection thing. So that is the order table. So this is the very important. And SQL server we are defining, for example, if you create the table order, when you create the table orders, you need to create the order ID int not null primary key, order number int not null, and person ID int foreign key references person. What are the table? Person and person ID. Then it will be pointing to that person table. So this is the syntax. So you must remember it, and you can alter it. Once you create it, you can alter it, like alter it. For example, alter table orders art foreign key person ID reference to art foreign key person ID, this one. Okay, so you can add this one. Drop you can use here. Okay, drop also you can. Okay, so this is the whole idea about the foreign key. Then what's check? Check means for some condition, for example, I will tell you one condition. I will tell you the real life example. For example, some of the if you upload the YouTube videos, there is a check in the discussion box. There is a if it is allowed to see the kids. Okay, is it the video is created for kids or the video is created for adult, or yes or no? So there is a check. So that check we can use in the database also, because if you allow the check, what will happen? It is made for the kids area, or like you do cartoons, like that area your video will go. If you give us a no, then it will be go as an adult video, because depends upon your video, you can move it. Like here also check. Once the data is coming from a client side, we can check with their criteria. Okay, so that is the importance of checks, because that time if you initially write this thing, it will be first at the basic level to check and implement it. So that is the importance of SQL check and constraint. The check constraint is used to limit the value range is placed in a column. If you define the check constraint on a column, it will allow to certain values of the column. If you define the check of the constraint table, it can limit the values. Okay. For example, like you can see here, create table person ID. Foreign key we can give last name, first name, and age. Age check. What happened? So allow the naming of the check constraint and the check multiple columns following the syntax. So that is the importance. And the alter. Alter means add check age. You can add this one also. And also drop. Alter the table, drop constraint check person. So this is also used. And the SQL default. SQL default means a default constraint. Default constraint set a default value in the column. So default value will added in all new record if no other values is specified. SQL default or create the table following SQL set of default values city column when the person table is created. For example, you can see like that. Set a default value of city. The city, okay. Default is city. Default this one. So for example, if you are taking the data of a specified region in India, in Kerala, if you are taking the data of a Kerala, number of people who are living in a village like Agalakunda. So what you can do? You can set the grammar panchayat like or like a village like Agalakunda. So that is like we can use here. The city Varka default we can set the values. So that is the beauty of SQL. So that also we can use here. The following default value we can come, and also, for example, if you take the number of people who living in India in 2022. So specifically, generally you can specify the country default India. So that case you don't need to specify repeatedly. At the entering of the time of data, you can specify it. So that is the important in our life. So that kind of situation you identify, you implement it. So this is also important. So I think almost everything we complete. And one more thing, index, SQL index. Create index statement is used to create the index in table. Normally, indexes are very helpful for retrieving the data fastly. For example, if you store file data, it is very easy to retrieve the data from an array. We can store the data. If we give spaces in computer, then we can retrieve the data easily. But at the same time, if you are saving the data in a storage with a millions of record, what we can do? Because we cannot implement as an array. It will take days and weeks to take the data from the storage. So that time we implemented the hash table or the dictionary. So that is the important. So at that time we can use the create index. For example, create index table duplicate values are allowed. For example, create index name on table, column number this one. Create a unique index, then we can set the unique key also and create the index. So index on person last name. If you want to create an index of the combination of column, you can list the parentheses and separated by commas. So this is the index. So this is the all regarding our primary key and foreign key. So I think hope you all understand. Next video I will discuss with a more interesting topic, and I have a lot of things. So clear it. You can use these links for implementing your solution. Then we will see on the next video. Bye.